Hi, welcome to today's webinar. Hope that I'm live and everything is fine. Today's webinar is GPTs versus SEO-wind, the ultimate showdown in AI content quality and ranking. What I want to do, I want to show you as much as possible what I've learned about GPTs and how it is compared to SEO-wind. My name is Tom Winter. I'm the CGO and founder at SEO-wind. SEO-wind is a tool that helps to write articles that are based on SEO research, and we do it with AI on multiple levels. So hello to everybody. Great to see you. Just give me thumbs up that I know that everything is okay and it's live and you can hear me. And we will start in just 30 seconds. Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's start without further ado. Again, this is the webinar about GPTs versus SEO-wind, the ultimate showdown in AI content quality and ranking. So what I want to show you today is how GPTs work. They are all over LinkedIn right now. So it's something new that was introduced just 2 weeks ago in OpenAI. And they're really, really amazing. Everybody is talking about GPTs, making their own GPTs for everything to make the output as good as possible. To be honest, I also love it. And I'm also thinking how to implement them in SEO-wind, how we can make a use of it, and what it can do on its own, what it will be useful to do in SEO-wind, and just to know exactly how they work. So let's begin. So today's webinar will look like this. This is the agenda for today. What are GPTs and how they work? So I'll go briefly through GPTs to explain how do they work, what they're good at, and how we can use them on our daily basis. And then I will start comparing how SEO-wind is different from GPTs, how we can use GPTs in SEO-wind, and what kind of tasks actually are hard to do with GPTs and are far, far easier to do with SEO-wind. So without further ado, let's begin. If you have any questions, please write to me. I'll be happy to answer them throughout the webinar. If I will go too geeky, please let me know. And if I need to explain anything, please ask questions. I'll be trying to help you out and explain as much as possible. So let's jump straight into GPTs. Throughout the last week, you probably saw the whole drama about Sam Altman leaving OpenAI. Now he's back, which is great because we know that it will be stable. And one of the things that they introduced 2 weeks ago in beta mode, this is still beta. So this is very, very early. And it has still a lot of bugs inside, but it lets us play around with it. And this is GPTs. What are GPTs? They're a way to fine-tune GPT to do a specific task that we want. So earlier on, we would be able to fine-tune GPT, but to do that, you had to do a lot of coding. Right now, you basically can do it without any coding at all, which is possible just to feed it with data and inform what kind of instructions GPT, how it should act, what kind of things it should do, and how it should do it. And feed with a lot of data on top that will allow it to understand better your perspective, objectives, and what it can actually do. So to do a GPT, you can go to Playground, in OpenAI, or you can use ChatGPT Plus. ChatGPT Plus has its limitations, so be aware of that. At the moment, you can do only 40 messages per 3 hours. I got locked out today. I'll be honest, I was playing around a lot, and every single time that I'm trying to do more complicated tasks, I'm getting locked out of Chat GPT Plus. That's why I'm using more often Playground, just to play a little bit more. But also Playground, when it comes to GPTs, has its limitations. So going to GPTs to explain exactly what they do. So they're amazing tool to do a certain task that is repetitive in a specific way that is designed by default by you. So I tried to do many GPTs just to see what works, what doesn't, how we can work with them. One of them, like that I wanted to show you today, is a SEO outline generator that is working in the playground. And I wanted to show you because, like, just to show you how complicated like outline generator is and how hard it is to do AI writing with ChatGPT, because and GPTs, because I've seen many people on LinkedIn saying like, oh, this is my method for doing an outline and doing an article. And to be honest, I saw a lot of flaws in that. So the thing that I see that GPTs are really amazing for simple one prompt tasks. I'll explain exactly what I mean. So like if you have a task that like you just need to feed it once to retrieve like an output, this is where GPTs really shine. But like when you're looking at AI writing or writing articles, like look at the humans, like it's not a one prompt task. Like what we do, for example, in SEOWind, to write an article, we do between 20 to 30 prompts where we gather a lot of data and we structure it in a way that makes sense. But GPTs, what they do, they try to work in a way that is very specific for a job that is being done. So let's go to this outline. When I'm doing an outline and I want to nail the search intent, this is my goal. Like whenever I'm creating an outline, my first and primary goal is to nail the search intent. I want to learn more like about who ranks for the specific keyword. I want to know what they write about it. I want to, like, I'm not even going to the keywords that they're ranking for, because like that would be already a lot too complicated for GPT to like understand and actually put it all together. So I'm like focusing only on going to the search engine, getting SERP results, retrieving data about like who ranks for that, and scraping information from every single page that is there and retrieving outline from them, because based on that, I want to teach GPT to understand exactly what is the search intent and how to write the outline. Okay, so like here in GPT, I can add the instructions. So I have like more short, like a short version of instructions. I really didn't want to complicate it too much for this presentation. So my instructions are really simple. Like I want to write an optimized, SEO optimized outline. First, go to Bing, use Scraper, like so use a plugin like that will scrape certain things from specific pages that are found in Bing. Give me outlines back like in a form of H2s and H3s heading formatted in Markdown. Create a new comprehensive outline. So we have like only 3 steps to do, right? I've added functions and code interpreter, especially code interpreter for me is very important for this, because like when I'm scraping certain data from certain places, I want to extract, like for example, outline, which is based on code, because we're going into HTML, just to understand exactly what is H2, what is H3. Then I added files, which is my basically magical file, like which explains a little bit more about my strategy when it comes to AI writing and how to do an outline. So I added this like as context as much as possible. This is amazing because you can actually add context to GPT to fine tune it in a way that you want to work with it. And this is really magical. But you can use this kind of as vectorized database or fine-tuning the model. And basically then GPT grabs like pieces, like at least theoretically, it grabs pieces of information from the uploaded files just to understand better the task that it's doing and how to actually do the task. So the first problem that I saw, because my first goal was to go to Bing.com. Why did I choose Bing.com, not Google.com? Yeah, that's an actual problem, because I just checked it today. Still, Google owns 86% of whole traffic when it comes to search engine, and Bing has around 9%. So I've chosen Bing.com because you can scrape Google without any additional plugins, and that's not that easy to actually do a scrape from Google using GPT. There are many specialized tools that, for example, we're using at SEOWind to retrieve data from Google. But to be honest, I didn't find one that is simple to use to retrieve data from Google. So we will actually have to base our information about the search intent on a search engine that has only 9% of the traffic that is global traffic. So going to Google, to Bing, like I want to also tell you here, in Playground, plugins are not enabled. So like I'm not using plugins here. I'm just going step by step with you just to show you like exactly what it would do when it comes to retrieving certain data. So going to Bing, like it's limiting us. And the next thing that we should do is collect the URLs of the top SERP results, like from Bing, and go to like every single one of them and scrape the information about the outlines. So let's say like AI will be able to scrape the information from GPT-4, from Bing, and will go to these pages. So, and it has to go to 10 pages and scrape data from 10 pages from SERP results and retrieve H2s and H3s outline. So I tried it today, like using ChatGPT. This is a print screen that I did from today. To extract outline H2s and H3s headings in Markdown format from the following page. Like it's a simple task, right? It seems to be simple, but there is a huge problem. Like I've read just today a research on AI, like on GPT basically, and it was said that the biggest problem that it has is with all the questions that there is only one answer to them. Like so all math problems are problematic for AI. Like it is creative. It's going through certain language, but it has some flaws when it comes to simple math problems. And this is kind of like a math problem, because how we normally scrape data is we go to the code, we look for like a simple programming task. We look through the code, we are looking for H2s, H3s, and we're basically retrieving that. There is only one single answer for that, because every page is structured in a way that we can retrieve all H2s and H3s. But the problem with this one is that GPT is writing one word at a time, like predicting the next word. It's not a scraping tool. It's not something that can do that easily. Sometimes it will actually retrieve something that makes sense. I've tried it many times, like it was a 50-50. With this article, it showed me that why should you use writing tools like this? Is first of all, this is not Markdown. Like I'll be honest, like it should have retrieved it in a Markdown format. It's not. Then it went with these headings. Like, so let's look at this article. And this is the table of contents. As you can see here, why use writing tools? This is H1, I think. So exactly, this is like the H1. It didn't even took like the whole H1 because it forgot about like this part. When it went to like H2s and like an H3s, to be honest, I don't know even what it caught, because like this is my outline, explanation of what AI writing tools are, brief history of AI writing. This is like just table of contents, like, but it reflects all the H2s in it, the benefits of using writing tools, and so on. Basically, it was a miss. I did it many times. Like sometimes I saw it works. Sometimes I saw that it doesn't. And remember, like I need to go to 10 of these articles and retrieve this data. Like the chances that it will be wrong like are pretty high. And this is the data that we will be using for further analysis. The Paulo asked me a question. What is the reason you make this GPT in Playground and not in regular ChatGPT? So like Paulo, as I mentioned, ChatGPT Plus has limitations of 40 messages per 3 hours. And it's really hard to do it like to do it more than that, because it will lock you out for 3 hours. I got locked out. That's why I'm doing it in Playground, which will not lock me out from Playground. But definitely you can do it in ChatGPT Plus. But the problem is that doing an outline, actually, it's a multi-step process. So you will run out of messages in ChatGPT really, really fast. And the limit is hard limit, 40 messages per 3 hours. So doing complicated tasks, it's a problem in ChatGPT Plus. So thank you for the question. Definitely use ChatGPT like for daily usage of GPTs. And I will explain why I would use it there, but like for simpler tasks that are not complicated and multi-level from ChatGPT perspective. So going back to our outline. So first of all, like when we will retrieve information about H2s and H3s from specific pages, we will use one of scraping tools that, for example, Scraper, or I use Scraping B. And I'm using their like free accounts, which will be, again, a 50-50% miss on actually scraping this data. And actually, it will not render JavaScript. There will be many problems on the way with scraping this data, and the data that I will retrieve will be mixed. So I'll have like Markdown, something that is not accurate, and a couple of other types of outputs that it gave me that will be really, really difficult both for a human and AI to interpret. So this is the first thing. Then, like, we'll have to analyze these outlines to understand subject and search intent behind them. Yes, that will be done, but the problem will be with the input. So, like, if we will get like input that is mixed in a way it's added to the GPT, then it will mix up things in the outline. Like right now, for example, it gave me an output that I don't know what it's based on. In my opinion, it's just made up. Like, and this is my problem with GPT with such a complex task, because I don't know when it's making things up or it's actually basing it on the data. And because I know that GPT gets lost when you add like more and more data, especially when it's not structured in a way that it's easy to understand, that's making it even more possible, I would say, that it will make things up. Like if they will sort it out, like that will actually retrieve data that is easier to understand for ChatGPT, so it will be all in the same format, then probably it will be far, far better. But still, we will have problems with scraping data. Like in my opinion, when it goes to scraping data, I would always go back, like not to do AI, because AI makes no sense. It's an overkill for scraping. This is kind of like easy and difficult task, like easy from programming perspective to go through the code and parse it, but like difficult to actually render websites, access the websites, because you have to use specific IP addresses. There are many services out there that worked on scraping for the last couple of years. Definitely, I wouldn't like to be in this niche. It's really difficult to actually crawl the web in a way to understand what's on the pages. But parsing data, it's an overkill to use AI to take data from the website, like, for example, outlines, when it comes to that. So then I would get the outline, and all the outlines that I saw, like in GPTs that somebody else made, I would say they're made up, like they're far better than what I saw on ChatGPT directly without doing GPTs, because they're not, they're already directed in a way that makes a lot more sense. But still, consistency of data that I see is a big problem. And now think about it in a different way. You have to add multiple levels on top of that. So for example, add additional keywords that you have to get from somewhere. So you have to do an API call to a place where you get keywords, and it will be all in the chat. The problem that we see, like I at least see, with such complex data is that when we normally use normal ways of programming, we take the data and we try to structure it in a way in a database that makes sense. Here, because it's a chat-based platform, all the data is there in the whole thread instead of structured data that we will add to ChatGPT in the next step, so it actually understands. So for example, if we're doing an outline, we're providing ChatGPT with multiple outlines of other pages, but we will not need all other pages outlined to further execute AI writing, for example. So basically what we should do, like technically, is remove all the data that we are not using anymore, because we already drove conclusions out of that. So ChatGPT will not look into that again, because like when you have a chat, that will be exactly this. Like you are putting everything in the same bucket, and then you're asking every single time that you're asking in a thread to make some assumptions. ChatGPT has to go through the whole thread just to understand what do you actually mean. Even the things that it already considered that are not important in the previous steps, it will still go to the next step, to the whole thread, which is again very problematic. That's why I'm saying, in my opinion, GPTs are not something that will help us out with complicated tasks that are multi-level tasks for ChatGPT. So like you have to do a lot of prompts, but they're amazing with all the tasks that are simpler, kind of, but you need specific guidance for ChatGPT to fine-tune actually GPTs to do a specific task. Like for example, I think it's amazing for making images within brand style guidelines. So if you, for example, create your own GPT that will provide instructions how to create new images for your blog within your brand style guidelines, and you will write here your style guidelines about how do you want the images to look like, and you will also provide file with information about like images that you already have to show GPT how your brand style guidelines look like and how it can work with that. That will be an amazing task, because you will just write like, I need an image for this and that, and it will already know these are my style brand guidelines. This is how I want to do it. Or anything connected to simple tasks like clustering keywords, putting LinkedIn posts into a specific structure. So if you have specific strategies for LinkedIn, how to create posts on LinkedIn, you can actually train or fine-tune GPT with specific strategies, how the post on LinkedIn should look like, but you will still have to feed it with data if you want to add something new and additional. And these are the tasks that I feel GPTs are working like in an amazing way. So this is how it looks like. This is my opinion. Like we're seeing right now, GPTs are growing. I would love to see more new things in GPTs. So let me go to SEOWind to show you how SEOWind deals with the same problem. So this is the dashboard of SEOWind. I've created, just before this meeting, I've created a brief for AI content writing. So I'll just go into it just to see it. The brief is empty because I've never been here before. I've just created it because it takes us like about 2 to 3 minutes to create such a brief, to scrape all the data and structure the data in a way that is easy for me and also for AI to understand. So the first thing, like looking at GPTs, I'll try to go back to GPTs as much as I can to show you like the differences. So the first thing that we do, we go to Google, not Bing, because like if Google, it has 86% of the whole traffic that is in search engines, like it's much better to go straight into there, because this is where search intent is hidden. So we take from Google, we take like the first search results, 10 search results. This is the first one, this is the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. So what we start with, we take all the keywords from them, just to understand exactly that if this is a primary keyword, AI content writing, but there's many secondary keywords that also these specific pages they rank for. So I want to know more about specific keywords they rank for. So like if I hit this button, I can actually go through and choose the keywords that I want. So I would choose like a couple of them in a way that makes sense. Then I will go to second one. I'll choose a couple of more if I already chosen a keyword. So like I really love to have a lot of control over what AI does, and always like I'm the person that makes decisions. Like AI is my teammate. I love AI because it's my best teammate. It's always happy to help me out, to give me some propositions of things, but I'm in control. I'm making final decisions. So I'm adding a couple of keywords, and the first thing that you can see that these keywords are color coded, and they're color coded for a reason. So basically here for we have a maximum of 50 keywords per every position. Here we probably downloaded about like 250 keywords from competitors. So what we did, we took these 250 keywords, we pushed it back into AI and asked it kindly, dear AI, can you please cluster these keywords by meaning? So put them into groups that make sense. I like to have here a little bit more context. Like, so for example, for this specific brief, what I like to do, I like to have here about 20 to 30 keywords, which are put into groups. So it's not a random group of keywords, but it's rather, if I have 30 keywords, it's rather like 5-6 groups of keywords of 6 keywords in each. So if I go through these keywords, I can also see these colors on the left side. So basically, if I go through them and I see like, oh, there's the blue one, I don't have anything blue here, I already can notice like, okay, that's probably something different. So maybe I will want to add these keywords. So this is how it looks like. So this is the first use case of AI. Like if you want to put it into GPT, that's an additional step that you would have to do. First of all, like you would have to retrieve all these keywords for all the competitors. And that's a lot of data because like if we have here 250 keywords, some of these keywords are, let's say on average, they have 2 words. That would be, or 3 words, that would be already about 1,000 words in context. And what I want to do, like right now, even though that I have like here 250 keywords, I want to choose only 25. So I want to get rid of like looking at all the rest. I want to focus AI only on these. So in the next steps, like I will use only these keywords. Okay, so then we have the next step where we have competitor outlets. Since we went to all the competitors and just to see like we extracted their outlines, we're able to go through them and understand exactly what's the search intent because they nailed the search intent. They did something really, really good. They're in top 10 search results. So I will use AI to help me out here a little bit. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to AI saying, dear AI, I'm writing an article on AI content writing, and I would like you to help me out with writing a comprehensive brief. And this is something that is kind of easy and you can do in ChatGPT, but the problem is that ChatGPT will not retrieve you context, like will not give you context, it doesn't know the context of search results. This is why in GPTs, we ask GPT to go to Bing, basically.com, and retrieve all the outlines of competitors. But the problem is that ChatGPT doesn't have a database where it can actually store all the knowledge that it has. And the way it retrieved data, it's not like, it's hard to parse for him because every single time that I tried it, it was retrieving data in a different way. So what we're doing on top, like since we have it in parsed in a way that is easy to understand for us and for a computer, we're on the top of the question that I said. So, dear ChatGPT, can you help me out to write a comprehensive brief for AI content writing? I'm saying like, but stop now, like hold on. I know exactly what's the search intent for this specific phrase. I know the outlines of top 10 SERP results, like competitors that nail the search intent, which makes a lot of sense. So here are the outlines. Can you look at them? And based on the knowledge that you have, can you actually help me out to find the outline that nails the search intent? And based on that, AI gives me like the outline. Here, I can go through them and I can start editing them. So in chat, again, that's a problem with chat. You will not be able to edit them like here. or do whatever you want, like move them around. If I don't like the order, I can move them around. If I want to change it here, I can, because I can add, for example, an additional custom heading into it, and I can work directly in it. Like in a chat, you probably would have to copy it at every single step into a doc file, work on it, and go back to ChatGPT, give it back. So it's quite complicated and you can get lost there. I want to make the process as smooth as possible for one reason. I want to focus on one and single thing, writing the best possible outline that nails the search intent. And for me, like, that's really important. So like I can delete this specific heading. I can change everything that I want. That's a hell of a heading. I like something that I call cyborg method. So AI working with a human together, not against each other, no AI taking over humans' jobs, but working together. So like I'm in control. This is my friend AI told me this is an outline that nails the search intent because it's based on data. But I don't have to agree. I'm a special matter expert in the field. So what I can do, I can correct it and make it better. So like, for example, I don't like conclusion. So I will delete it straight away. I like to finish my outlines with an FAQ section. So I'll just add a FAQ section, but I don't have questions. So let's scroll down and let's go to the next section, which is called questions to answer. I'm taking data, so pulling data. People also ask questions from Quora, questions from Reddit, and I can add them straight to my outline. This is something, again, like if you would use GPTs, you would have to do another like free calls, API calls, like to retrieve this data. At this point, it will be a mess because you will have like too much data at once. Even if Chat GPT will hold it, because at the moment GPT-4 can hold like get up to 128,000 tokens in a single input, which is about 300 pages. I'll be honest, I tested ChatGPT a bit, and I can see that even though it can take an input of 300 pages, it can't take an input of half a page of instructions. So the more instructions you will give, like, and more data you will put to inform, like, look, do this, do that, take into that into account, and take that into account, then it will get lost and it will have like many problems with making decisions. So here again, I want to limit, like when I will be prompting for AI writing, I want to limit the information to actually essential data that I need for this specific task in this specific way. Okay, going back to FAQ. So I don't like the structure. So FAQ is H2. All the questions are H2. So let me change them fast to H3. And basically, this is how it works. Like I would spend a little bit more time on the outline. As a special matter expert, probably I would add maybe something about my product, some kind of things about that I think ChatGPT forgot about it. I would also go through outlines of my competitors just to see, like, okay, like ChatGPT, you were actually wrong. So like you forgot about, like, for example, empowering the world to write. So like I would just add it to my right side. Or like if I don't like it, I would just delete it. So this is how it looks like. Let's go back to the top. So like a next simple task, let's say, but you would have to, when doing with GPTs, you would have to think about it. It's title and description. To be honest, I would do it totally separately with ChatGPT just to define the title and description. But again, like we're here, I'm using AI to help me out. I'm like taking data from the left side to pull from there and push into AI to give as much context as possible so it doesn't do guesswork. And I'm adding these information into AI. Then I'm going to description and I'm doing the same thing. I'm like taking data from the left side and checking out like what kind of things we can actually write with this for this specific article. As you can see, GPT gives me a couple of answers. If I don't like them, I don't have to choose them. If I like them, I can rewrite them however I want. So this is how it looks like. So it's pretty simple. So we have the title, we have the description, we have the outline, we have the keywords. Like at the moment, if we have the outline, we can use also add AI keywords. And that's a cool new feature that we just released. When you have the outline, what it does, when we have the outline and we have the keywords, so like we have two big things with data. So what we're doing, we're going to ChatGPT and asking like, dear GPT, like this is the outline, these are the keywords. Can you actually find the keywords that are relevant for this specific topic? And can you actually define which keywords I should focus on when looking at this outline? So it added a couple of keywords here, and basically it's ready for the next step. So then we have include in AA article. So we have a toggle to include company or product information. I'll go for that in a moment. Like I will show you, it's defined in the projects. But if you define in your project information about your company, what we will do, we will actually go through the outline that you're creating and find a relevant place for inputting information about your company and product. We don't want to do it in a like pushy way, in a salesy pushy way, because in our opinion, it makes no sense. So we want to find the relevant place where we can implement information about your product. If we don't find a place like that, we will just not implement it, because like being salesy makes no sense. So when you're ready, you just need to hit generate AI article. Like here is an estimation of the length of the article based on the outline. This outline is massive, even though that we said here that we want 1,600 words in this outline. If we write an article like an outline like that, don't think that AI will write 1,600, because it tries to answer as good as possible for the outline that it gets. In our we trained the model. We did a little bit of machine learning just to understand exactly how long will be the articles, and based on that, we try to predict how long will be the output. So when you hit generate AI article, the article will be written within like 10 to 15 minutes. What we see is that we try to give as much context to AI as possible. And from my what we saw so far, for every 3,000 words that we write, we push in about 7,000 words in context. So we try to give as much as knowledge into AI as possible. So it's like twice as much in, over twice as much in, then we get out. Like based on that, we can create something that makes a lot more sense and it's comprehensive. Okay, so Paulo, you're asking two questions. So is this also working for Dutch market in Dutch language? Yes, we do support Dutch. It's working in Dutch. I would say like from GPT's perspective, Dutch is a little bit worse than English, but it's not our fault. Like this is how GPT works. But I can see that with GPT for Turbo, it got a lot better, and definitely it will work better and better every day. Is your tool only for blog posts, but also for landing pages, white papers, or category pages for a web shop? Mostly blog posts and long form. But if you're looking at SERP results, like it's basically tries to get as much of search intent from search results as possible. So if you will see a situation where in search results, in SERP results, there are only landing pages in such a SERP results for a specific keyword, we will take into account only landing pages. So we try to mirror SERP results that you can see in Google. So if we will see only landing pages, we will take data from the landing pages, and basically what we will create will be closer to landing page. If in Google for the specific search intent will be only blog post, we will take into account blog post and basically create something that is more of a long form. Okay, let's go to projects, because I want to show you. I will not click this right now because it will take like 10 minutes to create this article, but I will go to and show you projects, what you can customize in projects, which makes a lot of sense. So if I go to my custom project where I do a lot of tests, I can customize a couple of things. First of all, I can add my domain and project name. Then what's more interesting, I can go to and define my brand voice. I will delete the brand voice that I have right now and write one with you. So we are using this brand voice whenever we're writing articles. Like to create a brand voice, I'll just hit create your brand voice. I'll go to my page. I'll just take a lot of my data. So I'll just like take almost a whole post, copy it, and paste it into the tool. I can paste here up to 20,000 characters. Right now, like I pasted over like almost 19,000. 20,000 characters is about 4,000, 4 to 5,000 words. I hit continue, and what I'm doing, I'm like asking GPT, dear GPT, can you help me out with identifying the brand voice that is in this text? Because I wrote this article, and I would love you to actually help me out to understand what I like. What kind of brand voice do I have? The brand style is informative, detailed, and conversational, adept at explaining complex topics in an understandable manner. It uses a warm and friendly tone, inviting audience to delve deeper into the subject matter without feeling overwhelmed, and so on. If I feel that like I can make it even better, I would do it. Like writing a tone of voice and brand voice is extremely difficult from a human's perspective. To be honest, writing like these 3-4 sentences would take me a day because we are really bad with being a mirror to ourselves. Most of us like would just define wannabe brand voice, no actual brand voice, and it's really cool to use GPT as a mirror that will show us like this is how we sound because it's more objective, definitely more objective than we are. But still, if I don't like some things that are said here, I would correct it, make it better, because making it better is easier than starting from scratch. Then I would hit save and I would create this brand voice. This brand voice will be used for all the AI writing within this project. So whenever I'll be writing an article within a SEOWind project like that I've had, I would be using this specific brand voice. So GPT will get instructions that I want it to sound like this. Then I have company details. So this is something that I've mentioned inside the brief. So we want to add information about your product into the articles, of course, if you want to do it. So there was this toggle that you could switch on to add company details. Here you can add company name, company information, product and service information, and target audience. And we will feed, like when you want, we will feed this data into GPT so it know about you, like more about you. So it's kind of like your employee that already knows about your company. So your own copywriter that knows more about your company, and you don't have to remember about putting this data and explaining it every single time to ChatGPT or GPTs because it will be here. So this is how it looks like. I would love, like, if you haven't had a chance to use the system, if you have any questions about GPTs or also, I would love to answer them. So if you have any questions right now, please let me know. So I'll wait a moment. If you want to find me, like I'm on LinkedIn, ask me any questions. If you want to get back to me, like with questions about GPTs, if I can help you out with GPTs or with SEOWind or ChatGPT, I'm like happy to do it. Like sometimes I'm even giving some advice on SEO. Like if you have any questions, like just ask me, and I'll be happy to help you out. That was intense, like really. So much fun. But again, like in my opinion, GPTs are amazing. Like especially you can use them as vectorized database or fine-tuning GPT to specific tasks. To sum it up, like GPTs are amazing for simpler tasks that are one prompt task or like maybe two prompt tasks, but are something that will not go to details. This is exactly what I showed you with SEOWind. Like if you're writing an article, this is a multi-step process that you have to take into account specific things. Right now, we like to use AI for everything, but to be honest, it's not suitable for everything. Like sometimes, like normal programming makes a lot more sense. Uh, Paulo, is it possible to make multiple company outlines? like if I understand you correctly, it's possible to have like multiple projects for different companies. Like for example, if you have an agency, you can have like a project for every single website that you work with. So that's not a problem. So we will customize, like we'll help you to customize every single project for a different company or a different website. And yeah, subtitles are amazing. Like, thanks a lot. I think it's LinkedIn. As far as I remember, I didn't set it up. Like, oh, it's either LinkedIn or StreamYard. I'm not sure. I think it's LinkedIn. So if it's good, then I'm happy about it. So thanks a lot. If anybody doesn't have more questions, like please contact me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help you out. And it was a pleasure to tell you about GPTs. And I hope that we will have like more GPTs coming and more things to discover. Uh, Thanks a lot and cheers. Have a great day.